Welcome to the Heal Everything podcast with none other than Tama Aziz Serwa. You are not here by coincidence. This is a sacred space for the holy, ratchet woman who knows that she has the power to heal everything. I'm going to help you learn some new things, create a legacy of healing, elevate your mind. You do not want to miss an episode of this podcast. So make sure you subscribe and you share and you favorite us. And invite your sisters because we're about to have a powerful conversation. Tune in. So here we are at the end of episode 1. And one of the things that I'm invested in is not just providing these conversations and information, but I really want to help you unpack some of the nuggets in each episode. And so I'm here, put some hearts. If you feel like you heard something that really, really resonated with you, that you needed reinforcement on, or even if you heard something that you had not heard before, you learned something new. I'm very mindful about how polarizing my energy is as a teacher. I am the one who will speak in your language and make you uncomfortable while I'm speaking the language that's familiar to you. I am very intentional about not being offensive, but I'm also very aware that I cannot manage how other people interpret, perceive the things that are my assignment. So I knew that the way in which we were marketing and branding the upcoming episode would definitely raise some antennas and make people say, what in the world is Tama talking about? But I'm talking about something that has a direct impact on your capacity to hold joy. So there's a few questions that I want to unpack with you, and I want you to use the comment section below. Peace, loves. I see you hopping on. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Put an exclamation mark if you enjoyed episode 1. These are our podcast after hours where we quickly unpack a few of the nuggets from the episode. And thank you to the Let the Womb Be Heard family for keeping this space sacred, open, and free to any woman that is here. So the first question I want to ask you is a simple one. At least I think so, because it's a yes or no answer. Have you really traced how you developed spiritually? I mean, how you developed sexually and sensually? What was your developmental process like? Who was most influential in that process? What did they teach you? Yes or no? Have you traced it or not? Right? That's important because you want to think about your level of freedom and the level of freedom that the person who influenced your sensual and sexual development had. And women who have no freedom cannot offer their daughters freedom. If you felt that when I said that, go ahead and put some hearts or exclamation mark in the comment section. I'm going to say it again for those of you who may have missed that. Women who don't have freedom cannot give their daughters freedom. So for the mothers listening, like your freedom sexually and sensually is absolutely showing up in the behaviors of your daughters. And so is your bondage. So are you aware of what you've inherited? For the mothers in the conversation, are you aware of what you are giving as the inheritance? That's the first question. So I don't want you to just hear the questions. I really want you to comment below and give me your answers because I want to dialogue and kind of interact with you as you're working through processing the conversation from episode 1. The second thing that I want to ask is this. Are you still holding on to values that you can't even honor yourself? For example, don't have sex unless you're married. But you out here being one of the biggest fornicators in your city. Like, we laugh about it. But why do you hold the belief if you can't even live up to it? Why not choose a better belief that you can actually live right? So I want you to put in the comment section your answer to that question. That's the second question I want to give you for our podcast after hours. Are you being authentic? Is it time to really take a look at what you believe and why you are still believing it when you know that you haven't honored that belief in years? And here's why that's important, because where there is guilt, there is a requirement for punishment. So as long as you're holding guilt, you are subconsciously or consciously punishing yourself and finding ways to self-criticize, self-betray, and not honor your true experience and desires. And as a woman, desire is the seat of feminine power. It's important that you make it a priority if, in fact, you want to live in your power. Okay. And then the last question for our podcast after hours that I want to share with you to help you unpack is this. What are you willing to sacrifice to experience more pleasure in your life? Ooh, baby. I don't know if all of you can answer that question, but I hope you can while we have this time together. Hey, sisters, I see you chiming in. Yes. What are you willing to sacrifice? Because something must give to create a space for more. Do you need to sacrifice how many hours you work? Do you need to sacrifice who you hang around with, who you talk to and get advice from? Like, what is it for you? You know the answer to that, so answer it. What are you willing and ready? Once you identify that, I say, look, go into practicing it. When we work our plans, the plans work. All right, my sisters, that is what I have for you for our podcast after hours. Thank you for being visible. Thank you for being present. And make sure that you have subscribed to our podcast. If you're going through our anchor.fm/heal everything link, you will see that when you pull up our podcast, there's a star where you can favorite the podcast. And when we air something, you will get an alert that something has been aired. The other opportunity is that you pull us up on any major podcasting platform. You can type in my name, Tema Aziz Serwa, and it will pull up our podcast, and you can subscribe and favorite there as well. And of course, if you stay present and you turn all the notifications on for Let the Wound Be Heard, our Facebook community, where we create sacred social media space on the internet, you can stay current on the upcoming episodes. So you don't want to miss the next one. Make sure that you have subscribed. And if you heard something that was of value for you, don't be gluttonous. Share the empowerment, share the education, share the conversations. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Can't wait to see you in episode 2.